everyone. I just finished reading The Handmaid's Tale and I followed it up with the graphic novel version. And I just wanted to share some of my thoughts as I was reading the novel versus the graphic novel. Just to give you a short summary, a very short summary of what The Handmaid's Tale is about. It is a dystopian novel, so dystopians are normally set in the future world where everything has gone horribly wrong. A utopia would be a perfect world. Dystopia is a not perfect world. In this book, things have gone pretty sour for women, especially. So I would recommend this book. It was an awesome book. I really enjoyed reading it. I would recommend it for older high school students because there are some serious topics covered in here. Okay, so now getting to the differences of the graphic novel versus the actual book. So because this is a dystopian novel, there are some things described that I've never seen in real life because it's based on a future world or things happening that don't exist in our world in real life. So when I read the graphic novel, what it did for me is it was able to kind of confirm some of the images that Atwood described in her novel because I saw it after I read the graphic novel. So graphic novels in general are really great for fantasy and dystopian because we don't have the experience of what the author is talking about a lot of times, and being able to see it kind of confirms the images or helps us create new images of what's happening in our head when we're reading. The other great thing about graphic novels, and this graphic novel in particular, was that I was able to read it in a day. So I read the actual text of The Handmaid's Tale probably over a week. If I was actively reading it, you could read it in a week if you actively read it. But the graphic novel, I was able to finish in just a couple of hours, which helped me get a unified experience while reading, which is something that Poe talked a lot about in his essay. So graphic novels give you that complete experience, and it's not broken up in pieces, basically. I didn't have to read some of The Handmaid's Tale, stop reading it, then reread it. I was able to just have the story play out in my mind, sort of like a movie. It happened all in one shot. I wasn't broken up and had real life interfere with what was actually happening in the story. Because graphic novels are short in nature, it's also great for getting key ideas out of the book. So because this book is so short and it's limited in what it can tell, you can see the thickness here. It's not that thick and it's mostly just images. So the author or the illustrator of this graphic novel had to be really careful about what parts she included in the book. So reading the graphic novel helped me figure out key ideas and themes in the book because they could only represent so much in this smaller graphic version. So that reinforced key ideas for me of what happened in the story. And lastly, I loved reading the graphic novel or pairing the graphic novel with the book because it gave me some ideas for graphic design myself. They represented things really creatively. So there's a moment in the story where the character is just looking up at the ceiling on this side. And she's looking up at the ceiling because she has nothing else to do. And I think they represented that feeling and all the emotions that were written in the text version really well in this picture. And it gives me ideas for how I want to represent that boredom or that loneliness if I was to illustrate or if I was to design something myself. All right, that pretty much concludes my thoughts, but I just wanted to share, since I did a classic novel and I paired it with a graphic novel, it just had me come to some realizations about why reading the text and then following up with a graphic novel is a great idea.